Okay, today is what do you do to get back on track after you've had a flu, a sickness, you haven't eaten right, all of that. That's what today's is going to be about. Okay. Hey, Kay, I'm still coughing. So if I was in person, I wouldn't be in person because I'm coughing. I'm not, anyway, I have to get a cough drop. Okay. Are you ready? Just a minute. Okay. See, I got me a cough drop. I probably won't talk as much. Some of you will be very glad for that. Okay. Let me get you. We're going to be on the floor. I'm warning you. We are going to be on the floor. I lost my chair. I'm going to use a little chair. Okay. So the first thing is you've been laying a lot because I'm going at this as if you've been sick, as I have been sick. And then you want to get back. You want to get back to moving. Find any kind of counter. I don't care what it is. Here's my counter. Okay. Yeah. You see that? I'll turn it a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. This is a desk. High desk. Find anyone. If you've been laying a lot, as I have, you're all like this a lot of times, even though I took special care to take out the pillows and lay flat. Find a counter. Okay? Put your hand on it. Somebody say, well, I don't have a counter. Put it on your chair. Put your hand on your chair. That's fine. Open. Just open like that. So I'm pulling. This could be a door frame. It could be a chair. It could be a bed. You see what I'm doing? Drop your shoulder, both. I'm taking breaths. Drop your shoulders. Okay? You should really feel this opening. See, I'm just standing here. So here's my counter, my chair, my door frame. Drop your shoulders. Breathe. Some of the same things. See how I'm stepping out? And I'm dropping my shoulders more. And now I'm going to pull my chin, tuck it in. Okay? So, yeah, when you have had any kind of a flu, I don't care what it is, any flu that you have a little temperature with, it's going to knock you off your game. But in order to get back on your game, you don't go hot and heavy. You just go, See what I'm doing? I'm opening this. I'm creating attraction. I'm breathing in through my nose, which I couldn't do on Monday. I'm breathing in through my nose. See, I'm hanging on to it could be a counter. It could be a chair. It could be a door frame. And I'm pulling myself away from. Open this. This is something that Miss K should be doing a lot every day. Okay. I need you to report and tell me if you've been doing these, Kay. Okay, so now I'm going to come back. So see what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this way. So put my hand here. Again, this could be a door frame. I love door frames. I have a counter here. I'm going to step myself around. I'm going to open my hand. And I'm gonna drop my shoulders and I'm gonna keep pulling. I can really feel this opening right here on my shoulder, okay? Now, don't make the mistake of hanging your head out. Here, don't hang your head out. Drop your shoulders again. Drop your chin again. And really pull it open. And hang out here for a second or two. Take a big deep breath. Take a big deep breath. Take a big deep breath. Another couple seconds. Take a big deep breath. Drop your shoulders. Breath in through the nose. And then come back. Seriously, I could not do that on Monday. I couldn't. I started being able to breathe yesterday. So, why did I have you start this whole session holding on to something? Because seriously, if you have been sick, as I have been sick, everybody's going, oh, you get sick? Yes. You know, crap happens to everybody, right? But I tried to do everything I could to mitigate the time that I was down. I'll tell you how I did that in a little bit. Okay, so what am I doing? Number one, I'm stepping wide, and I'm using a wall, a counter, a bed, a chair, something, a pole. Drop your shoulders, and I'm having you work against an object. Do you see what I'm doing? Yeah, my heels are down, number one. I'm dropping my elbows, number two. I'm not going in hard, but I am really hyperextending my back with my shoulders down. So let me finish what I was going to say. I'm having you hang on to something because with birthdays that are in this session, see how I'm holding this? This is such a good thing to do. I can't even tell you. To get back on track when you've been sick. This move is countering everything that somebody who's been sick and in the bed or injured and in the bed or sitting is countering everything. I'm putting great pressure through my shoulders, but it's not too much. My feet are wide here. I'm going to bend my knees softly. I'm pushing my hip bones forward as I drop my shoulders. And I'm keeping my chin tucked. And I'm keeping my elbows in. I'm not going any further. I'm just hanging out here for a couple seconds. Okay? Because this opens everything up. Okay? It's an excellent move. Now, once you've done that, just push back. And the reason I have you holding on to something right now is because, as I was starting to say, because I got off in another route, surprise, surprise, you're a little shaky. I haven't eaten normally. You just don't feel like eating whenever that you don't, when you're pushing temps. Okay, see how I'm doing? Did you see how I pushed my butt back there? Now drop your shoulders. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. Here we go. Bend the knees. Push the butt back. Push the butt back. You're in the heels. And go down as far as you feel you can, but have a firm grip on that door, that chair, that counter, that bed. And then come back. And then here's the clincher. You're going to bring a knee up as far as you can and a knee up. Now let me ask you, when you brought the knee up, did you raise your shoulder blades? Raise your shoulders. If you did, don't. I'm not sure all who's on. We got a good class this morning. Thank y'all for coming on with me. Seriously, if this was Monday, I couldn't have done this. I was still rocking and reeling. However, I did a lot of very aggressive self-care to try to mitigate my time that I'm going to be under this. Anyway, look what I'm doing. I'm lifting. Now I have a little thing. I can put my toe here, but you don't have to. Your knee is soft. This move right here to counter the first move that we did. These are all very orchestrated. I did the hyperextension, dropping my shoulders. Now I'm going into flexion. Okay. So this is a hyperextension, back it off, and then flexion. Okay. Take a big deep breath. Then I'm going to back off, back off, back off. Let me finish though. The reason I have you start doing first couple of moves, actually some of the first moves that you should do is probably on the floor. But some of y'all haven't been sick. I'm the sickie. Oh, I'm looking for my phone. I don't know what I did with my phone. I gotta see what time it is. Sorry, I've misplaced my phone. That's a terrible thing to do. Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna be, let's say I'm in bed. So I'm gonna go to my chair. This is a lower chair, but it's a chair. And I'm gonna come down into the floor. Okay. I'm gonna turn and do that. See that? Then I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna do it again. Watch out, Mac. Watch out, Mac. I'm gonna turn and come down here. Okay. So I'm trying to get movement into the body after it's been prone for a couple days, even one day. Okay, see how I'm doing this? Okay, get ready. Just bear with me. Here's your chair. Go lay down. And then come back to where you start and then just turn. See that? So these turning motions, holding onto a chair is what you want to do. I didn't go straight down into the floor. I come back here, turn, and come right to there. So I'm using my upper body. I got my chair here. Okay. I'm moving all through all ranges in the hip, using the floor, using the chair as an assist. I'm going to do it a couple of times. Why? Because I'm trying to get those joints moving with a little load. Okay, you ready? Drop your shoulders. Breathing in through the nose. Push, lift. So that move right there is a really important move. When you've been prone for a couple of days and you go to put pressure to get yourself back in action, see what I'm doing? See? Turn. Now right here. Tighten your tummy. Drop your shoulders. Push. And you lift. Then you turn. And you're right here again. See that? So number one, I'm opening right here. See how I'm pushing my hips forward? So I'm giving them a chance again to open. Now I'm going to turn, lift, turn, right there. Okay? Push the hip forward. Push the hip forward, push the hip forward, push the hip forward, and then come back. And you're right here again. Okay? Then I'm going to rock into the knees, flatten my feet right here. And again, I'm going to push the hips forward. See that? Very good move. Let me go back to finishing my I think I finished my thought. You hang on to something starting out with. Either you do everything on the floor, make sure you hang on to something because you're just a little woozy. Okay, so I'm wide. My hips are going forward. I'm going to open again. Open again. Breath. 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 See that little rotation? Your knees are stationary. You could do this standing. If you didn't want to be on your knees, you could do this whole thing standing. Just keep your knees soft. Take a breath. So this is enough to elicit much deeper breathing, okay? And rotational. Woo! Take a breath. 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 Yes. Okay. Now, if you're not wanting to get in the floor, that's fine. You can do most everything sitting on the chair or against a wall or on your bed. That would be perfectly fine. So now I'm going to come right into here, okay? And I'm going to take advantage of each movement pattern, and I'm going to do it on a repeat. See, I'm not going to go just from this into something else, because I've made it to the floor, see, and I want to make it back around to the other side. So right now in this position, especially if you push into your hands, drop your chin, keep your knees bent here. Don't push hard, just push up a little. Maybe go to your elbows and then go to your hands, okay? For some people, it might be really hard to come up to their hands here. Maybe you have a stiff knee, your hip. This is my replaced hip right here. This is my replaced knee. You don't have the pain, but it is different in movement patterns. So here I am. So all this time that I have my hands under me like this, I'm stretching. I can feel the stretching going on, okay? So I'm going to come back to my knees. So what am I going to do? I have to use my core. So I'm going to push into my hands, put my knees right here. So I'm on all fours. See that? So here I am. Now I'm going to go down this way. So I told you this is a movement pattern just to get you in the floor. We don't practice it, but we should. See how I'm up here on my hands? Let me tell you, I feel stretches going on everywhere in my knee, my hip, my back, okay? So if that's too hard for you, go down here to your elbows. Mac is nervous this morning. He just has to be right where I'm at. Okay, so see, you can be here. That's perfectly fine. My knees are not straight, they're bent. And then go up onto your hands and try to push yourself that away. That means I'm putting pressure here and I'm trying to turn, okay? Not really, but that's the point. So you should feel big time stretches right now. Yeah, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. So when I got you in the floor, the very first thing I'm going to do is do the opposite of what you would normally do if you were sick for a few days. If you're sick for a few days, you're going to be laying on your back generally, okay, or a side, whatever. So once you don't have fever anymore and you feel like you can move a little bit, you don't want to overdo it. However, if I got my elbows down, I'm doing the opposite of what the position that you typically find yourself when you're sick. And I'm going to try to counteract all those negatives of being flat on your back, okay? Drop your shoulders. Yeah. Notice what I'm doing again. So I've done it out of the gate against the counter. I did it at the chair, okay? And now I'm doing it again, laying in a prone position, okay? I meant to say you're in a supine position because you're belly up. So now I'm in a prone position, counteracting the position that you generally find yourself laying on your back, if that makes sense. Okay, see what I'm doing? Yeah, I'm hanging out here for a little bit. Then I'm going to crawl myself down, and now I'm going to turn my head. And then I'm going to come to the center. I'm going to turn my head. And why am I going to do that instead of just holding it? Because some of us have issues on one side of our neck, and we're going to always go to the easy side, right? This is the easy side for me. But I'm going to turn and just kind of get a gauge for how I'm moving with my neck. I'm going to turn this way. And it's not nearly as easy for me to go this way as it is to go the other way. And so I just want to get a gauge for where is that. So here I am. I'm going to press into my elbows and lift just a little bit with my chin tucked. Take a breath. Then come down. And I'm going to try to put my ear down to the side. Drop your shoulders. Then I'm going to come back up, turn, and see how does that feel. So I can tell that my ear is not as easy to get down on this side as it was on the other side. So you can see I'm still coughing up crud from I never had a sore throat, ever, in this whole thing when it started. But I did have temperatures. Okay, there you go. Now, wait. Are you ready? See how I'm readying myself? Because what am I going to do? I'm going to turn. When I turn, I have to be really careful with my shoulders, right? So drop down your shoulders, pull those elbows in. So you're going to turn, just like you're going to turn to get up out of bed or whatever, off the floor. And in this position, and again, you could do this, you could do a lot of these sitting in a chair, just turning, putting your leg back, etc. Okay? I'm going to take this leg back here. Yeah, just like that. See that? And I'm going to lift, and I'm going to open. So I'm just going to hang out here for a little bit. Drop your shoulders. I'm going to bring this leg, I'm going to keep it bent. This leg back here is really open, but it's bent. I might not go back this far on this hip. So if you have both hips replaced, you know how far you can go. Drop your chin. Open that arm. Bring it way up over your head. Bring it back. Bring it way up over your head. Bring it back. Roll. See, just in rolling and keeping pressure gently coming through the elbows, drop your shoulders, roll. So keep that shoulder in. And you're going to take the top leg and go back with it. Okay, so this isn't a problem for me on this hip. This is my hip replaced. And you might not force it back. You don't want to force it anyway. But this is such a good move to rotate through the hips gently. Then you open that arm back. Go way back there. Go way up over your head. Come around. Go way back. Take a big deep breath. Drop your chin. Take a big breath through the nose. Which, seriously, I could not breathe in my nose on Monday. Oh, I could not. Here we go. Open, open, open. And come back. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to just sit here. So you could be sitting in a chair. You could be sitting in a bed. Whatever. One of the things that you can always do, you just got to think about it. And I just talked to an athlete who messed up his ankle about this very move. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm not going to lean back like normal. See, this is like normal. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say rib cage up. I'm going to open at the hip. I'm going to bring my fingertips to my butt and drop my shoulders. This is not a hard pressure. It's just a little gentle pressure. See that? Keep those elbows in. That's positive pressure. Look at my toes. I'm going to point. I'm going to flex. See that? I'm going to point. I'm going to flex. I told him he needed to do this probably 100 times in the morning before he gets up, because he's still having fluid in his ankle, so he needs to not have pressure on it, and he needs to get movement in there. What better way than a point and a flex, and then go out to the side and then come in. Okay, go out, all the way out. Okay, and then come in, inversion. Okay, then do eversion, that's out. Okay, don't bend your knees, keep them pretty straight. And then up, point, flex. Because when you've been sick and you put yourself laying on the couch, laying in your bed, whatever, sitting in a chair, again, think about, okay, am I cranking my neck up against a pillow? How can I make it so that I keep a more extended back? How can I do that? That's number one. But you get swollen ankles sometimes because you're prone. Okay, you're laying down, and you got to move your ankles. What better way than a point flex? Right like that. Point flex, point flex, point flex, point flex. Just like that. At the end of 10 or 20, you do circles. So anybody that's had ankle issues, that means you've had lower leg issues. Okay? It's not just the ankle. So you do those ankle circles. Capitalize on that. And if you're holding yourself in this position, it's going to be some effort. And then you go one way, then you come back around the other. So you do 10 or 20 repetitions, point flex. At the end, you do 4 to 6 circles. Point flex. You get the idea. Take a big breath. Okay. Bring one leg up, just like this. Okay. So if you're sitting in a chair, you can do some of this. You're just going to go like this. It's going to be a rock and roll. See that? You're hanging on. Okay. Here's the deal. You haven't been using a lot of muscles, right? For a couple days because you've been sick. Rolling back, keeping your back very extended, engaging, breathing, bringing this up here. Sometimes people get so weak, they couldn't hold this up by themselves without really caving here and then hurting their back. So hold it like that, bring it back in, put it down, okay? And it's gonna work all those flexors and extensors. You bring the other leg up, okay? You're gonna bring your arm under there, okay? Open your hip. Don't round your back. Keep your rib cage up. Take a big breath. Lift the leg as you rotate back. See that? Now you're gonna cement that in there. Okay, say rib cage up. And if you can, just release and hang out here for a bit. See that? Again, say rib cage up while you're holding this. And when it's like, oh my goodness, then put your hand back under there. See that? Put it down, come back down. Okay? Then you're gonna come right here. You're gonna push and just lift your hips. And then come back down. So we're not even doing full hip lifts. We're putting pressure into the hands, pushing our heels down, drop your shoulders again, pull that hip up, and just hang out here for a bit. Now, if you haven't been sick, you want to do a little more, lift a leg. That's fine. Then come back and lift the other leg. Take a big deep breath. You want to put gentle pressure back into those muscles, just to give your body the idea that she ain't dead yet. I hope you're laughing, Chrissy. Okay, here we go. Right here, right here. If you're excessively rolling, don't do that. Drop those shoulders. Take a big breath. Hips are going to come up. You're going to be pushing right in there. Pushing right in there. Pushing right in there. Big breath. Big breath, big breath, big breath. And then come back down. And come back down. Turn. And then turn. See, I'm putting my hand against this knee. Right like that. And then again, turn against that knee. So you're trying to help your back to get that rotation going. Put a little pressure in it. Take a big deep breath. Put your hand against the knee. Pull, press, pull, press. Okay. Now, if you can get in the floor all the way down, that's fine. If you're in your chair, fine. You're just going to lean back a bit. Okay? So I'm going to go down. I'm going to lay right down. Okay, so I'm right in the floor. So this is one of the moves that Meg Meeker, the Meeker method is what it's called. She's a physical therapist that addresses osteoporosis, exercising with osteoporosis. So in her program, laying in the floor like this is part of her program. Big part of her program, like really big part of her program. Okay, so once I'm down on the floor, then I can embark upon lifting a leg, extending a leg, bringing it back up, bring it back up. See, I'm doing that point flex thingy. Then I'm going to come back down. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to go point flex, point flex. I'm going to bring that leg in as far as I can, like grab my toe if I can. If I have to, I'll bend my knee and bring it in. I'm pushing against that couch, which that's a good push right there. But you're all the way out, your shoulders are down, and you're really helping your spine to line up and then come back down. So if you have been super sick, or let's say you're coming back from injuries or whatever, this right here, see, normally you'd put a lot more pressure and you bring it down like that. Sometimes you can do that. However, if you can just come into an L, see, this is like an L stretch, dorsiflexion, L stretch, then bend that leg, and then on the way down, tax your core. You don't have to, make it so hard to be beneficial. Okay, so here I am, right here, right here, right here, right here, then down and then back out. Okay. So I'm just pressing, take a big deep breath. And again, I cannot stress to you, some of you, I know, you just won't take the time to do it. But this position, shoulders are down, flat on the floor, my head's touching, my shoulder blades are touching, my butt is touching, but I can get little fingers under the back. See, that is how I know that I'm in neutral spine. I don't want my back to be totally flat on the ground, because that is not neutral spine. Okay, bend your knee and bring it up, and bring it up. And here's where we start. getting our strength back again. And if you'll follow this, your strength will come back quickly once you're starting to eat normally again, and you're not under the stress of a bug, some kind of a bug. Take a big breath, drop your shoulders. See what I'm doing? So I'm going from like a dead bug position, would be this. I'm going into a T, and I'm coming down, and I'm just tapping my heel, and then coming back. Now, if I were with you right now, I would check to see that you're engaging right here in your tummy, and that you have a tiny little space as you're coming down to touch your heel. You have a little tiny space under your back there. See that? Right there. Take a breath. Here we go. Take a breath. Keep your chin tucked. Yep, keep your chin tucked. I know some of you, it's very difficult for you to stay here unless you have a little pillow under your head. And that's generally people that are working with a forward head syndrome. Okay, so see what I'm doing? So this is a breath. I want to maintain that neutral spine. So that means a little space, small part of the back. And I'm doing as many of these as I feel I can do right now. See? Take a big breath. I'm coming down here to touch the heel. Big breath. Heel. Make sure your tummy is really engaging as you bring the heel down. You got to make sure your core is working right there. And how do you make sure of that? You maintain a little space right here. Yeah. Take a breath. Come back. Take a breath. Through the nose. I'm going to do about 3 more. Take a breath. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. So if you haven't done these in a while, yeah, I know it. Take a breath. See, the idea is to do just enough that then you want to come back and do a little more on Friday. Take a breath. Here we go. Take a breath. Here we go. And take a breath. Okay. So once in this position now, I'm going to go ahead and open through the groin. So I'm going to try to ease my hip down. Okay. So depending on where your sticking points are, you're going to try to get that leg down without rolling your whole body. Okay. Once you've done that, help yourself back up. And if you have replaced hips, you carefully move open as far as you can. You'll lift a little bit and then come back. So this is just all joint and movement related skills that you're trying to just take yourself through a full range, give a little bit of pressure on your muscles. Come to the side. So I'm right here. Take a big deep breath again. I'm going to turn, come back. And I'm on all fours now. And if you have been, so I'm doing this as if somebody's coming back from being sick, as I have been the last couple days. And so you want to do this hanging on to something because you might get, dizzy. So here I am. I'm going to put my toes under. See, like that? I'm going to drop my shoulders, lift, come up, take a big deep breath, rotate, and come back down. Now, This move, y'all, I'm not kidding you. If you could just see your way through of doing as many of these as you can, I would say between 6 and 2 sets of 6, you know, something like that. See this rotation, coming back in. I'm barely touching my knees. Then I'm going to come back up. I'm going to go press, really stretch through that. Down, barely touch your knees. So normally I wouldn't even touch my knees, but that will require a lot more effort. Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders, take a big breath, push back to your heels, rotate, you're right there. Big deep breath, come back, down, and come back in. I got 2 more of these, I think. Take a big deep breath. Now, if you want to do a little more work, when you're coming down to putting your knees down, just hover for like an inch and then come back up. And like right here, just come down here and hover and then come back up. Okay? Step back in. A little knee bend. Then you're going to address the calves. Okay? So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to really press back on the calf. Then I'm going to bend my knee. Press back into the heel. Then I'm going to bend my knee. I'm going to press back, bend my knee. Press back, bend my knee. Put your foot back, change legs. So I'm really pressing into the heel. Because if you have been in a supine position, means laying on your back for several days or even one day, you got to gently teach yourself back into motion. That's the point of this whole workout, okay? So see what I've done? I'm pushing. See, I'm pushing, keeping my shoulders down, but I'm letting a gentle stretch happen on that calf while I'm hanging on to something. I'm going to bend the knee and come back, bend the knee and come back. See, it's a calf pump. That's what this is. See, my heel is down. I'm bending the knee, but I'm not lifting my heel. See that? So I go from a soleus to a calf, stretch back and forth, and I switch it several times. So straight leg, push into the heel, bent knee, still pushing into the heel. Then you come back, then you come back, then you come back, then you come back. Keep the heel down. Yeah. And come back. And you keep doing that kind of a thing. Step back up into position. You're going to press your shoulders down first. Here's my counter. It could be a door frame. It could be a wall. It could be a chair. Okay? And just really go into that hyperextension. This is such a good move. If you have found yourself laying on your back for a couple of days because you couldn't move too much, take a big deep breath in through your nose. I do not know where I put my phone. Stay in that position for just a second. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Okay. Well, okay, I think my voice is gonna give out on me. So let's go back and let's do a little post test after we did our first movement, starting here, okay? Here's my wall, my door frame, or my counter, or my chair. I'm gonna hang on here, drop my shoulders, and I'm gonna really rotate. Big breath in through the nose. Out. Yeah, don't let your head hang out here. Keep the chin tucked. It's not nearly, not nearly as tight here. Oh, I feel better. Okay, here I am. Drop my shoulder. Step, pull, open. Big breaths through the nose. Hold it. Oh. So I didn't have you doing a lot of stuff independent standing, because if you've been flat on your back for several hours in a day, for a couple of days, you got temperatures and coughing and all that, you want to have something around that you can hang on to. Okay, that's the thing. So some of the things that I did to help mitigate or to shorten my downtime, which I could breathe through my nose yesterday, I can breathe today. I'm still coughing a little bit. I took a little bit of salt. You could have salt or you could have baking soda. Okay, a little bit, just a little bit, like, I don't know, fourth of a teaspoon, maybe not even that much, in your hand. And you just really, it will help you suck it right up into those nasal passages, both sides. In the shower, clear your passages. That salt, the baking soda, it helps to heal up those mucosal linings. That's number one. Number two, every day, sometimes twice a day, I did a very hot bath and dumped cold water back over me. Okay, so hot, cold, hot, cold. It could be a shower. Baths are good. That will shorten your time, because that hot, cold regime is just hydrotherapy. It works. It marshals the troops. Number one, make sure you're hydrated when you do it. So I'm going to hope that this got you moving. I feel better. Okay. Okay, bye.